Greetings to y'all, man. This is Divani, and yeah, y'all. It's the YMDR podcast, man. We out here, y'all. Just wanted to tap in with y'all and let y'all know we doing it. You feel me? It's a good morning. It's a good morning. Um, so yeah, what's goody with y'all, man? So greetings to y'all. We in the YMDR podcast. We chilling, man. It's just a lit experience right now, man. Sorry about that. I had to get my little coffee in. But yeah, y'all. Greetings to y'all. So yeah, man. I just wanted to tell y'all, man. Um, yeah, we've been putting some things together. As far as it goes, just a check in. I just want to do this check in real fast so we can get on to the topic, man, because the topic we got going on is gonna be put down, drop dead, fire as hell. Why? Because, hey man, you feel me? I think this needs to be said to the motherfuckers out there who need to know the difference between the two. You know, this can be helpful to the women, and this can be helpful to just giving them a different ideology to what they're seeing in this day and age, so they can be prepared to understand what's going down. So yeah, man. As far as I'm doing pretty good overall. I have gotten some stuff together to try to help with my ability to travel and shit. I got a suitcase, got these three little suitcases things that I got from my whole just YMDR thread, and then I got some little suitcase covers from my brand so that I can kind of advertise my brand, even if I go out of the states. You feel me? Or somewhere near the states or whatever place may be. Wherever I'm going, YMDR, we still repping. You feel me? So yeah, like had to get a little bit of that together, and then I'm also gonna try to see if I can get my driver's license and other different things together so that I can facilitate that sort of thing as well. So yeah, just being on some grown man shit, just trying to get some grown man shit together as far as it goes. Just building myself. I like to do this at a pace that I can control. I'm thankful that I can do this at a pace that I can control instead of having to deal with sometimes different types of people who can kind of, make you think you have to do it right away or a certain amount of time just to be validated. Sometimes there's women who will tell you that or use that against you to make you think you're validated. But brothers and sisters, realize and understand, you are entitled to move on the things that you want to build in your life when you need to. You know what I mean? And that doesn't always mean that you're less than or more than just because you don't do it at a time that somebody basically appreciates. You know what I'm saying? You still validated to still keep doing it when you need to do it. So I'm grateful for being able to do that as a single man right now. But yeah, all I could say ultimately, y'all, that's been going down, not nothing too much. I mean, I've been dropping some graphic designs on my page, and then dropping some more of the podcast episodes. I looked in my little catalog thing on my stuff, and I realized too, I have a lot of other podcast episodes, but the problem is that I had some videos I had to delete because they were all like not really like up to par. Like my audio on them was either messed up or something else was going on them, so I had to just delete all those mugs. And then I was like, well, shit, that give me more space to do some podcasts. You feel me? So I was like, hey, let me do this one. You feel me? Get this one off the riff because this one is a pretty dope podcast. So, yeah, y'all, I'm just here, locked and loaded, ready to go. That's all we came here to do. So yeah, man, I'm thankful, and I hope y'all. All right, y'all. So, whew, this topic. Hold on, give me a second. So this topic, y'all, is really a pretty understandable but relevant topic to the day. And basically, this is just what I would call like a differentiation. This is what we would use to help women get a differentiation of what they are seeing in this day and age opposed to what they are seeing from other different people, right? So I wanted to word this topic in general: MCWs versus POWs, and what that basically means. I had to use it in this what they call that the Gen Z terminologies. Um, MCW would mean men that control women, and the versus POWs would be protectors of women. You see what I'm saying? So we got MCWs versus POWs, protectors of women. So we talking about it. We talking about it. And if we want to be honest and transparent, I think the layer that we can talk about the most that comes to mind as to why this is even being brought up is because, brothers and sisters, it's a crazy world out here for the women. We be saying it's not, but lo and behold, it kind of is. I ain't even gonna fucking hold you. It just feels like there's a lot of fucking crazy shit out here that you can tell is being presented to the women culture, just as much as there's crazy shit that's being presented to the men culture. As far as we look at both of them in coincide at construct, it seems like there's a much construct of women being destroyed, and a construct of men being destroyed. So it's kind of like a almost even contrast of them equally being destroyed, but yet this is causing a lot of fucked up aneurysms with both. You know what I'm saying? These aneurysms are being injected into their minds from both males and females. But I think that this topic in general will give you a basis of what you need to know in order to present this into a different world for you, because it's something that we need to really see and really understand. And I think the reason I even worded it to be something that's kind of giving you the idea of controlling men versus protectors of women is because I feel like what a lot of people don't be seeing or realizing is that in this day and age, it very much seems like there's a lot of predatory men who feel the need to control women's values, women's ideas, and women's perspectives. You see what I'm saying? And I think that when you get to that type of point in your life as a man, you've really reached a point in your life where that is a non-realistic reality to have, is that you're thinking to yourself that, damn, I want to control the masses of these women. So the best way I know how to control the masses of the women is by using this chain effect on women so that they will ultimately bend to my will, right? And this concept to me obviously is one that has been presented in society. And because I'm a man who has a different concept than that, I don't find that shit very appropriate. So I feel the need to speak my mind on that shit because YMDR is a rebel podcast. If I got to speak my mind about some shit that I don't like, lo and behold, it's going to be spoken because that's how real motherfuckers do it. If they value and see something that's wrong, they voice something about it. They don't just sit there and let that shit happen and just be like, oh, well, I didn't see nothing. You know what I mean? Real motherfuckers don't do that. When you value something about a situation, you speak up on that shit because that shows that you a real man in that reality. So yeah, I feel like that's why this concept is even being approached. Definitely is why it's even being brought up to the women in this construct, so that they can know the difference between the two. Because these things out here that are being done is really just sporadically not well, I would feel like. And you know, it sucks that there's a lot of men out here who don't feel the need to do it, but lo and behold, I think they don't, because you got to realize that some men like to keep the controlled mechanism of how they get women into their territorial space. That is an intentional reason why they don't voice shit about that, because to them, that is a reality of basically giving women a sense of revival. And some men, whether they know it or not, they take away women's revival because their mindsets can't handle if a woman truly has a revival of something great within themselves. You see what I'm saying? And so I think when we run into topics like this, or when I speak on topics like this, I hope that this can give some clarification and help a lot of these women get back on square one, or get back to square two, or whatever square you on in the midst of the situation. So first and foremost, one of the things I think I can come into contrast with this about is, the first thing I can say is like relationships, right? There's a lot of women who get into relationships with men, and obviously, when they get into these relationships, what we see, or what I can digest from that as being a watcher of the situation, is that supposedly women will get into relationships with men, and then they will get in these relationships, and the men will fuck up their experience, right? And then they will ultimately try again, right? Women will have a certain amount of contrast to where they'll be like, oh, well, okay, this man did me wrong. Let me try again, right? So it seems like this pattern that goes on is that women will try again, and then boom, go to another man and get the same result, right? But then she'll try again, go to another man, get the same result. She'll try again, go to another man, get the same result. Now, y'all, I want to tell y'all how or why y'all keep getting that same result. What y'all don't know about some controlling men is controlling men like to use a domino effect. And if you know anything about a domino effect, is that that one domino, when it hits something, is knocking down all the other dominoes, right? To the point where it reaches a domino that is either bigger or whatever the case may be, because some people make their domino effects strategically certain ways. But anyways, that's almost how it is when y'all are choosing certain men who y'all say are more better than men who are not like this or are not like that. When you choose toxic men, what you don't see from toxic men is they like to use a domino effect. And that domino effect is actually used more frequently because what it does is it labels women to be able to be trapped into the frequency of constantly getting the same result, so that she won't think anything outside of the domino effect, right? So a lot of males who are controlling and have control mechanisms to keep women on their peripheral vision, they utilize this concept of a domino effect, because basically it is used and repeated to keep women in a controlled space of thinking men are always in a negative light. And when they do this concept, I'm going to be dead ass with you. This concept is even in the confines of the industry of pornography, right? This concept is in that. This concept is in fucking the music industry when it comes to women who play instruments and all this other shit. Like that type of shit, domino effect, is used to make women go down these walls of intentionally being in a destructive male environment, so that they will constantly be under the control of negative males. Only so they will pretty much have control of basically the fine ass males that are in this type of society. the fine ass women that are in this type of society. Excuse me. But what I look from that and what anybody can see that as, if they are a male who is not trying to treat women that way or is not trying to view women that way, they could look up and easily say, damn, isn't that a plantation for women? Basically, men who are trying to keep women under their control, isn't that a confines of a plantation for women? Because that's what that seems like. You know, if you ultimately are a male who is predatorial, who wants to be territorial and predatorial, even though you are hooking up with her through sexual connotation, you are feeling that the way to control her the most is if she can go out and mess with motherfuckers that are only in the proximity of what y'all all do collectively together. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you think about that type of reality, that is what a male of control will do, right? Versus a male who is a protector of women. A protector of a woman is most definitely looking at that bullshit that women are dealing with, and they're saying, trust and believe. That's not what the fuck I want to do, right? You know, there's not the males who notice what is actually going on. They are seeing this and saying to themselves, no, that's not what the fuck I want. This women are not no motherfucking plantation for me to fucking enslave women through fucking hookup culture and all this other crazy shit that I believe that they need to be, because I'm looking at it like, oh yeah, that's what the fuck women are supposed to be, blah, 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 blah. Like, that kind of shit in general, if people didn't even notice it, is heinous to the reality of what God created women to actually be. Women might look fine and might look attractive, but here's the thing that I want some of you males to understand who be on that predatorial ass shit. That shit does not mean or imply that you are supposed to own or treat any woman in that contrast of believing that they are your slaves. Because ultimately what you are doing, without you doing it, is you are confessing to the same slavery that the white man has used on you in this type of society. Think about it that way. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what I see from that shit. The only difference is that it's just women slavery. See what I mean? It's just women's slavery. It's not the same slavery that you get from somewhere else. It's women's slavery, right? And lo and behold, y'all, I just feel like this topic being talked about and said this shit on is something that I would rather confess to the women to help them understand the difference between the two, because that kind of shit to me is some bullshit. Ain't nobody trying to do no shit. Like, come on now, cuz, like, I ain't even the type of motherfucker to see this shit and be like, oh, damn, that's some shit I would really want to fucking do. Like, nah, man, like, just because the porn industry feels the need to use women as plantation and supply and demand, and the music industry feels the need to treat the women that way in a supply and demand type of reality, that does not fucking mean that the average Joes that are influenced by this society and see that shit going on, that does not mean that we need to copy those bitches. Because let's be real, let's be transparent. If you copy those motherfuckers, the only thing you are doing and saying to yourself is that you don't have any individuality and that you are easily controlled by the simulation of the fucking matrix. Because why else would you want to do that shit? Why else would anybody want to believe that a woman is supposed to be controlled just so you can get her to do what you want her to do just because she's cute? Why would you believe that you need to cause this to a woman or do this to a woman or drug women to get your rock off in the reality of what you think they need to be? Why would you do that to yourself? Maybe you do that to yourself because you don't know the concept of the reality does not define that you are supposed to do that to the human existence, because actually you need to ask yourself, what the fuck would happen if you was like that? If someone put you on a plantation and they did the same shit that you doing to these women in that reality, but yet you doing it from the confines of that. A lot of you motherfuckers have seen that happen to you in slavery, and y'all haven't learned to change that reality, so y'all dump that shit on women and think that y'all need to do that to women. And I'm just here to tell you motherfuckers that that shit ain't cool. You need to get that shit out your head in this reality. When you are a protector of women, you will think very differently on that bullshit. I don't have to put a woman in no damn confines to get her to fuck with me. If a woman want to fuck with me, I will gladly appreciate it if she does. If she don't want to fuck with me, I'm not going to push it on her that she needs to, just because it seemed like I should. You see what I'm saying? That's how you can tell the maturity between some motherfuckers who are real about the situation and some motherfuckers who are just a bunch of perverted ass, hypocritical ass, narcissistic ass, hypersexual ass motherfuckers. That's how you can tell the difference between the two. Women is knowing that there are males out here you can tell the difference of. I've never been a male who I feel the need to hook up with all these women just to get their attention, or just to get them to like me, or just to get them to do this, or just to get them to do that, or bust down Tatiana. I have never fucking felt like that was why I was doing what I was doing to these women, in order for me to get something out of them in that way. Why? Because I valued maturity. When you really value maturity, you will not look at women in that reality. Because what's the use of just wanting to collect women like a fucking prize grabber machine? What's the use of that? The use of that is that, yes, you have control over every woman that is fine as shit. But the problem with having control over every woman that is fine as shit, guess what that also does? That also makes it where the conglomerate of women are actually disconnecting now from the man's society. And they are saying that they don't even want to be married to you motherfuckers, let alone even have babies with you motherfuckers. They have even put themselves in the predicament of disconnecting so hard that they live on a mountain by their fucking self. My guy, that's where this shit has even came to, some of this shit. Where these women have literally disconnected that hard, where they live on a mountain by themselves, away from our existence, away from our reality. And obviously, I don't have anything against women who choose to even do that. I'm saying that as an example to try to let you motherfuckers understand. And women understand that this is how you can tell that we've reached a very horrible place with this shit, as far as trying to control women and put women on these sexual planes of plantation. You know, motherfuckers talking about they want to fly you out and want to do all this other crazy shit. Motherfucker, if you don't stop wanting to control people just for your sexual pleasure, you are going to destroy the essence in the manufacturing of why human beings even are supposed to exist in this fucking universe. Because women are not supposed to be objects in this reality that you are putting them in. This motherfucking factory reset of fucking human exploitation. Like, motherfucker, this is not how human beings are supposed to be in this reality. And I just say this shit and I voice this shit because hopefully this will help you women understand that males who want to protect women and value the confines of women do not look at that shit and say, oh yeah, I want that to happen. I want women to be controlled by everything that these men are doing. No, that's not our fucking true basis. That's not our true reality. That's not what we truly value in these motherfucking streets. Like, I'm saying this shit because I think that's what a lot of motherfuckers need to really take into consideration. Is that if you truly want to do that type of shit and you a male, you feel that shit cool to do, motherfucker, there's some males who don't feel that that is something that needs to be done. And some of them ain't willing enough or got the ball sack enough to say nothing about it because there's too many males who dish you anyway for being somebody who don't got the women that they got. So it's hard for you to really come out and say some shit about that shit. But let's be real and let's be transparent. It don't really fucking matter that you are a male who doesn't have what some of these males have. I have been jumped under the confines of males who want to use fucking women as fucking ploys to say, oh, well, you ain't got this girl and I ain't got that girl and you don't, oh, you ain't even really attractive enough to pull a damn girl, blah, 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 blah. Like, I've been told that type of shit my whole motherfucking life, but do you think it is something that I really take into consideration as real? Hell to the no. Because what I look at in this reality is that a lot of you males are not even using women for the right reasons. Ultimately, if you're going to bring up to me that you got this you got this woman because of that bullshit, basically you are saying that she was just a run through. You are using her for clergy, motherfucker. Is that what you want to do right now? You basically saying that, oh, I got all the women and you don't, and blah, 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 because you want to use her as clergy, bitch? Do you know how weird that really fucking is? Like, come on now, dog. Like, ain't nobody got to use no woman as no motherfucking clergy. The fuck you think this is? This is not, I need to use women as clergy and I need to fucking be showing that, oh, I got all the women and I'm a player. I'm better than every motherfucker on this planet. Motherfucker, you really not. You just a lame asshole who really don't understand that if we being truthful and transparent about our realities here, is if you really value women, you wouldn't be trying to put them on this punk ass plantation that you've been putting them on, which is filled with sexual endeavors that has all of these women thinking that they need to be 304s or fucking Grand Theft Auto hoes or all this other different shit. You want to help these women get back to square one and get back to square reality one, Gen Z. What you need to do is actually see how you can bring them out of the plantation and see what happens then. See what happens then. Because the society that you have around you, it is filled with very much predatorial ass bitches who don't know how to understand that you don't put women in that bullshit. When you a real ass motherfucker, you take women out of plantations, motherfucker. Plantations are just used to make women under your control. And women are seeing that. And that's the reason they're not responding to you bitches no more. That's the reason why they can't even talk to men who don't feel this fucking way, like me. They can't talk to males who don't feel like they want to do that shit because, let's be real, let's be transparent, y'all have made them even think that they don't even need to choose those men. From the matter of control, think about how easy you have allowed them to choose you. How easy women have chosen fuckboys. And then think of how easy they have not chosen men who aren't fuckboys. I guarantee you the track list on males who have been chosen by fuckboys is literally a easy streak. Whoop, right away. But a male who has not been chosen by a woman from that contrast is centuries. Ms. Mills has probably died when a woman has said, I want to mess with that man. Realistically speaking, like, no bullshit. I ain't got no time to cut no corners. The devil working crazy out here in these streets, and I might as well tell the truth and the whole truth. Fuck you mean? But yeah, I feel like, y'all, at the end of the day, when it comes to this topic of men who control women versus men who protect women, I just feel like you can tell the differences. And I think that those women should understand that, okay, if there's men out here who are territorial and use predatorial ass shit on you as a woman, I hope that this video will help you understand and realize that the men who protect women don't like that shit. And I hope that that realizes and heals your mind to actually see that if those men don't like that shit, then maybe you shouldn't be trying to dodge those kind of men and dodge them, like, because you're not dodging the fuck boys. You're not dodging those motherfuckers. So that should help you understand why would you be dodging ones that ain't like that. Maybe you dodging those men because you think that those men don't have your best interest. But if you really think about it, why would they try to decipher themselves from those type of men to let you know that they value you in that regards? Men who fuck up women's lives, they don't have to do that. They don't have to make videos like this. They don't have to continuously show or tell women things about shit that they think they need to tell them about it, because guess what? It's not in their mind, body, and soul. People always say that bullshit about, oh, well, if you talk too much shit about what you are, blah, 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 that usually means that you the fakest motherfucker alive. But I'm here to tell you, some people don't say that shit and do that shit because they're trying to prove they're the fakest motherfucker alive. Some people just want you to be informed that there is a fucking difference between the two. And yeah, they may say a lot more than the usual person, but guess the fuck what? That don't mean that their actions don't back it up. I could tell you as much that I'm a real ass motherfucking man, and my actions always gonna back that shit up because I know myself. Just as much as those men who fuck you over know they self, which really they probably don't know they self, which that's why they keep doing this shit to women and keep causing this domino effect that keeps looking like they just want to create a fucking pimping ass fucking free world of fucking plantation ass women. Like, I feel like that's where we fucking at with this shit, even when it comes down to the confines of how the fuck you want to smash all of them and shit. But ultimately speaking, whether we know it or not, I hope a lot of these women will see this video and it will give them the understanding to know that males who are not trying to control women, they see this shit. And they trying their best to stand with you in that regards. But one thing you need to know in this is, don't think of these males like they're the superheroes. This ain't no superhero shit. This ain't no, I'm trying to save you because I want to get you out of blah, blah. No, this is just the reality that is trying to say to the situation that if I don't think like those males, if I don't want to fucking have to be or be affiliated with a male who wants to put a woman in a fucking plantation, and I'm just trying to offer her a sense of getting out of it, then that should just open your mind to the reality that maybe, just maybe, those males are only keeping you controlled and away from the males that actually value you because they don't want you to see how to view males from the right side of life. Because that's what they're fighting for you to do, is constantly believe that the male species is just trying to destroy the women culture, and they don't care about women enough to actually value and appreciate why the fuck they even fucking exist. They've created that innuendo on you to make you think and imply that that's the only thing that we want. But they don't speak for all of us. They don't speak for all of us males in this society. Fuck the males who are pedophiles, and fuck the males who are predatorial to women. Fuck the males who want to put women in sex trafficking. Fuck the males who want to do all that bullshit. Because ultimately, they don't define us. They will never define the males in this society in that way. The thing is they are just trying to keep you away from people like us because they know once we have been in your proximity, we want to get you out of the plantation opposed to in the plantation. That's what they're afraid of. That's why they use this bullshit of males are always the fuck boys of culture and males are always the people you need to call the fuck out. That is done, intentionally done, so that you will believe that every male is a spiking negative construct to you. And you need to rise up as a woman and truly find a way to say to yourself, those bitches ain't about to make me think or believe that a male does not have a mindset that communicates that he wants to help me and protect me and not keep me in a plantation mindset like all these other motherfuckers. Because that's what they want y'all to do. This is hopelessness at its own senses. It's to trick women into believing that those are the only males that exist, so that's why you have to just conform to the males being fuckboys. And I'm here to tell you, beautiful women, that that is not true. That is not fucking true. That is a distraction from the reality of males who truly understand your existence is not filled with just being on a fucking plantation. It is what it is. And that's my confines of this conversation that I have for y'all when it comes to males that control you versus males who are protectors. The protectors exist. Don't give up on that. You just need to be more relevant and understanding to the reality that they exist. Don't shut them out. Stop shutting them out. Stop saying they don't exist. They do exist. You're just not paying attention to their reality. You just don't see their reality. And that's why that is a product of hopelessness. That those males who are toxic and destructive and want to drug women, that is their innuendo to make you stop choosing men like us who value women and want to protect them. So I just advise you as a woman and as a person to don't give up hope and stop believing the bullshit that these males have created for you, because ultimately they are creating that just to keep you in the plantation for the rest of your life until you die alone with nobody to stand beside you when there was somebody who really wanted to stand beside you. And that's all I got to say. What's good with y'all, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? YMDR podcast. We get deep in this bitch. You know what I mean? We get deep in this motherfucker. If you want to share this mug, tag somebody, subscribe to the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. You know, if you want to tap in even with the hoodies, you know what I'm saying? We got the little roach hoodies, variety, versatility, basically a really dope design communicating that black people have versatility. We ain't just motherfuckers who are only one way. So if you want to promote something like that, that's pretty much what this design and shirt is even about, is that we are versatile people. You feel me? As black motherfuckers, we versatile people. We not just drug dealers. We not just this. We not just that. If you want to promote this type of design on my hoodie that's like that, let me know. I will try to get these hoodies out to y'all probably each month, if that's what we can do, possibly. I ain't got the money to do it as much. If y'all want to donate to the brand, hey, we could try to get more of them hoodies out to y'all. You feel me? You donate to the Cash App of YMDR or donate to the PayPal. Hey, we'll get you together. We'll try to see what we can do. You feel me? So appreciate y'all wonderful people for tapping into the podcast, and I hope y'all keep tapping in because we got more topics on the hand, man. We out here. You have a nice day. Gang, gang.